All right, you asshats, welcome to the deep dive.
Woo!
Heads up, this one's for the grown-ups.
Yeah.
So if you're not 18 yet,
Get out of here.
get the fuck out of here.
Seriously.
We're going to be dropping some serious F-bombs today, and
Yeah, let's cut the crap.
let's cut the crap. We're diving into some seriously fucked up shit.
We're not holding back today, folks.
Damn straight.
Nope.
You know that song Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Classic.
The anthem of every pissed-off teenager in the late 90s. We are!
Now we're going deep.
Deep dive.
I bet a lot of you sang along back in the day, blissfully unaware of the lyrical train wreck unfolding beneath that catchy as hell melody.
Oh, totally. Back then it was all do-do-do and good vibes. But let's be real. Those lyrics are kind of fucked up. You ready to unpack this bullshit?
Absolutely. Let's tear off the rose-colored glasses and see what's really going on in this semi-charmed life.
Okay, so first off, the music itself is super happy and upbeat, right?
Yeah. It's like sunshine and rainbows.
Summer jam.
The perfect summer jam.
Yeah.
But then you actually listen to the words.
It's like, bam. You get hit with this dark, gritty reality,
Drug use.
toxic relationship.
This deep, aching desire for something more.
It's like this crazy contrast between the sound and the message.
Yeah, it's like putting a cherry on top of a pile of shit.
Right.
It might look pretty, but it's still a pile of shit.
That's one way to put it.
But that contrast is what makes the song so interesting. It's
Yeah.
like, it's reflecting how we try to mask our pain and dissatisfaction with a happy facade. Like we're all pretending everything's awesome while silently screaming inside.
Right, like, hey, everything's cool, just ignore the fact that my life is a dumpster fire.
Exactly.
So verse 1, right out the gate, we get hit with this line. Doing crystal meth will lift you up until you break. I mean, holy shit. Talk about cutting to the chase.
No kidding. And that line perfectly sums up the allure and danger of meth. You get this initial rush, this feeling of euphoria and invincibility, but it's a total illusion. It always leads to a crash, and the consequences can be devastating.
Totally. And then he talks about taking sips of the sky through his nose,
Ugh.
which, come on, is a pretty clear reference to snorting something. Probably not pixie dust.
Right. And it makes you think about the song's title, Semi-Charmed Life. Is this charm just a drug-induced haze? Or is the drug use a symptom of a deeper problem? Like, he's using it to escape a life that's only partially satisfying, only semi-charmed.
Damn, that's deep.
Right.
And then we hit the chorus.
The chorus.
I want something else to get me through this semi-charmed kind of life. This line, man, it gets repeated over and over like a goddamn mantra.
Exactly. It emphasizes this desperate yearning for something more, something to fill the void. The speaker is stuck in this in-between state. Things are okay, but not great, and it's eating him alive.
It's that classic grass is always greener bullshit, right? You know, you should be grateful for what you have. But there's this nagging feeling that something's missing, like you're just going through the motions but not really living.
Totally. And the way he uses semi-charmed is brilliant. He's acknowledging that there are good things in his life, but it's that semi part that's the problem. The good isn't enough to outweigh the bad, so he's left feeling unfulfilled.
It's like he's saying, yeah, I have some shit going for me, but it's not enough to make me actually happy. And let's be real, we've all felt that way at some point.
Oh, absolutely. That feeling of wanting more, of searching for something to complete us, it's part of the human experience. The problem is we don't always know what that something else is, so we end up chasing empty promises.
Okay, so there's this word that keeps popping up throughout the song. Goodbye.
Mm.
And it's never really clear who or what he's saying goodbye to. It's kind of mysterious,
Right.
like a ghost haunting the whole song.
It's open to interpretation. Is it goodbye to innocence, goodbye to a relationship? Hell, is it goodbye to life itself? It adds this whole other layer of complexity to the song.
Yeah, it's like he's constantly teetering on the edge of something, unsure of where he belongs or what he's holding on to.
Yeah.
And speaking of edges, let's talk about the velvet dress, the priestess, and little red panties.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on, they weren't even trying to be subtle with this shit.
No.
The sexuality is pretty blatant. Even for a song about drug use and dissatisfaction, it definitely adds another layer to unpack.
You're sure.
But what the hell does it all mean? Is it just about lust and scoring with some hot priestess?
Yeah.
Or is there something more going on?
I think it's more than just surface level lust. There's a power dynamic at play. This priestess figure is both alluring and dangerous, and those little red panties are a symbol of, well, let's just say it's not about grandma's underwear drawer.
It's like he's trying to find escape, some way to feel alive, even if it's just through these fleeting moments of pleasure.
Exactly. It ties back to the theme of dissatisfaction that runs through the entire song. He's constantly searching for something to fill the void, whether it's drugs, sex, or something else entirely. The problem is, these things only offer temporary relief.
Okay, so then we get this line, I'm not coming down. And again, it works on a couple of levels. He's talking about the actual high from the drugs, but also this metaphorical high of trying to escape reality, to avoid dealing with his shit.
Right, he's clinging to that feeling of euphoria, that temporary escape from the anxiety and fear that are clearly eating him alive. The question is, what is he so terrified of facing? What's so bad about coming down?
Damn good question. And I think that's something we can all relate to, even if we haven't battled addiction.
Sure.
We all have our own shit we're trying to avoid,
Yeah.
our own ways of trying to stay up.
Absolutely. Whether it's work stress, shitty relationships, or just the general anxieties of life, we all have our own coping mechanisms, our own ways of trying to numb the pain.
And sometimes those coping mechanisms can be pretty destructive.
No doubt. We can end up chasing temporary highs instead of addressing the root cause of our unhappiness.
Okay, so the song ends with this repetition of do-do-do, and I want something else. It's like we're right back where we started with that catchy melody and that nagging sense of unease. It's kind of unsettling, like the speaker's trapped in this endless loop of wanting and never finding.
Exactly. And it's interesting how the music is upbeat while the lyrics are anything but. The speaker's desire for something else is still hanging there, unresolved. It leaves you with this feeling of
Hopelessness, like he's doomed to keep chasing this elusive something else forever.
maybe, or maybe it's a call to action. Like, hey, if you're stuck in this semi-charm bullshit, go out and find your own something else.
I like that interpretation. It's like the song is saying, yeah, life is fucked up, but you don't have to just lie down and take it. You can change things.
Exactly. It's a reminder that we have agency, that we're not just passive passengers in our own lives. We have the power to create change, to find meaning and fulfillment, even in a world that often feels chaotic and overwhelming.
Damn, that's some heavy shit.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're just getting started.
Oh, yeah. We've already established that this song is a total mindfuck, disguising some seriously dark shit under a super catchy happy-go-lucky melody.
It's like the musical equivalent of putting lipstick on a pig.
Right.
Or maybe a velvet dress on a messed up priestess. Speaking of which, let's talk about that imagery for a minute.
The velvet dress.
The priestess, the little red panties, it's pretty in your face. Even for a song about drug use and being pissed off at life.
No kidding. It's like they took all the taboo topics of the late 90s and crammed them into one radio-friendly hit.
Yeah.
And what makes it even more interesting is that we never really know who this priestess is. Is she a real person? A figment of the speaker's fucked up imagination? A symbol of something else entirely?
It's all so vague,
Yeah.
yet so specific.
Yeah.
Like little red panties is a pretty vivid image, even if we don't know whose ass they're covering.
Right. It's like those details are there to distract us from the bigger picture, to keep us hooked on the surface level while the deeper meaning simmers underneath. Like a shiny object to keep us from noticing the dumpster fire burning in the background.
Speaking of dumpster fires,
Yeah.
let's circle back to that line about doing crystal meth. It's such a blunt statement, and it really sets the tone for the whole damn song.
Absolutely. It's like he's saying, hey, I'm fucked up and this is how I'm dealing with it.
And it's not just a casual mention of drug use. He talks about taking sips of the sky through his nose, about the tick-tock rhythm and bumping for the drop. These are all very specific references to the experience of being high. It's like he's giving us a glimpse into his messed up reality.
You're right. And then he says, I'm not coming down. It's defiant, but also a confession. He's terrified of what will happen when the high wears off, when he has to face reality again. It's like he's built this whole fantasy world around drugs and fleeting encounters, and coming down means having to confront the emptiness of it all.
It's like he's saying, don't bother trying to save me. I'm too far gone.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
that emptiness is really at the heart of the song. He keeps repeating, I want something else to get me through this semi-charmed kind of life. He's acknowledging that he has some good things, but it's not enough. He's searching for something more, something to fill the void. But the problem is he doesn't know what that something else is.
And that something else remains elusive throughout the entire song. He never actually finds it, does he?
No, he doesn't. And I think that's what makes the ending so powerful. We're left with that repetition of do-do-do and I want something else. It's like a never-ending cycle of longing and disappointment.
It's kind of a bummer, isn't it? Like this dude is never going to find what he's looking for. He's just going to keep chasing that high, that fleeting moment of escape forever.
Well, maybe.